his intention to clear the fourth round too. He begins summoning a large number of skeletons around him. The crowd looks terrified and starts moving backward, unable to believe their eyes. The entire arena is soon filled with Lin Moyu skeletons as he summons every last one of them. The audience gasps in horror, realizing it's essentially an army. Even the knight is left speechless. Su Sheng and another onlooker stare in shock, bewildered by how anyone can fight against such a massive number of skeletons. Lin Moyu raises his hand, giving the skeletons the command to charge forward. The skeleton mages raise their staffs, preparing to cast their spells. As the skeleton warriors and spells advance towards the 5 defenders, the knight stands at the front, using the group defense skill. The archer draws an arrow ready to shoot, while the mage also prepares to use her skill. The skeleton mage's spells strike the knight, who manages to block them all. As the spells continue to rain down, the knight admits he can't hold on much longer and instructs his team to hurry. The archer and mage counterattack with their own skills, while the healer enhances their powers. Arrows and spells fly towards the skeleton warriors as they charge forward. Many of the skeleton warriors and mages are hit by the skills. One skeleton mage is destroyed, while the skeleton warriors manage to withstand the attacks. The assassin among the defenders sneaks towards Lin Moyu in stealth. However, Lin Moyu senses the assassin and quickly summons the skeleton armor. The assassin is startled as 2 skeleton warriors grab and restrain him. The skeleton warriors hold the assassin while the skeleton mages unleash powerful lightning bolts at him. At the last moment, the assassin manages to free himself and escapes. Lin Moyu sees the assassin fleeing and raises his hand to use the Soul Blaze skill. The assassin runs toward the support, shouting for healing. The knight asks the assassin if he is okay. The assassin groans, saying the skill that hit him was extremely painful. Lin Moyu uses the slow curse, shooting the slowing chains at the defenders. The support raises his hand and uses the group purification skill, nullifying the slow curse aimed at his team. Lin Moyu realizes that with such a high-level support on the opponent's side, his curse is ineffective. As the skeletons approach, the knight warns his team that they will be surrounded, and the mage agrees to make the next move. The mage then summons a ring of flame that forms a shield around the 5 defenders. The skeletons turn and retreat towards Lin Moyu as the ring of flames begins to expand. The archer shoots chain arrows at the skeletons, noting that they won't last long as the arrows hit the ground, binding the skeletons in chains. The group decides to go straight for Lin Moyu, aiming to end the fight quickly before they become fatigued. The crowd holds its breath in concern, believing Lin Moyu is now at a disadvantage with his skeletons in disarray and him being defenseless. Led by the knight, his team charges at Lin Moyu, determined to end the battle before exhaustion sets in. The archer prepares to shoot another chain arrow. Lin Moyu observes the defenders charging towards him and remarks that this is the first time he has felt so exhilarated fighting such strong opponents. He raises his hand, confidently declaring that their moves will be useless and asserts that he will win. The knight and his 4 teammates continue to charge towards Lin Moyu with fierce determination. Calmly, Lin Moyu raises his hand, preparing to use the Soul Flame skill. The Soul Flame engulfs all 5 opponents, causing them to stop in their tracks. The knight grimaces in pain as he feels his soul burning. The support is instantly killed and teleports out of the arena defeated. The knight looks at his remaining team, realizing they are doomed without their support. He turns towards the approaching skeleton warriors who are closing in rapidly. Overwhelmed, the knight is soon swarmed by dozens of skeleton warriors, their relentless numbers engulfing him from all sides. In an instant, all 4 remaining defenders are sent out of the arena, and Lin Moyu emerges victorious. 2 spectators' jaws drop in shock, unable to believe Lin Moyu actually won. He asks Tao Tao if she thinks Lin Moyu can clear the 5th round as well. Tao Tao, looking uncertain, replies that while Lin Moyu's abilities exceed her expectations, no one has ever seen the 5th round before. Duan Gao remarks that witnessing history in the making is unexpected, while Miao Yu predicts Lin Moyu's name will be recorded as a great competitor. For clearing the 4th round, Lin Moyu receives 2 intermediate scrolls. The referee, now sweating with concern, asks Lin Moyu if he wants to continue. Lin Moyu firmly and clearly agrees to advance to the next round. The audience is in awe, shocked to witness the unexpected 5th round, a difficulty level they never thought they'd see today. A mage arrives, flying into the arena, and informs Lin Moyu that the 5th round will start in 3 minutes. The mage explains that the rewards for this round are a high-level magical potion and a flashing high-level skill scroll. The crowd whispers excitedly, realizing these legendary items are only usable by thrice-evolved professions. Lin Moyu, surprised, learns that the magical potion can permanently increase attributes by 20,000 and the skill scroll guarantees learning a high-level skill. Understanding the significance of these rewards, Lin Moyu recognizes why Bai considered this challenge the most important. Suddenly, a tense atmosphere fills the air as few figures begin teleporting onto the platform. Lin Mayu turns to see that the new arrivals are all level 50 rare professions, forming a mage party. Mage parties are known for their high attack power and disregard for AoE attacks, making Lin Mayu's skeletons seem less effective. The Shadow Mages, known for their control skills, and the Flame Mages, with their powerful attacks, make the crowd doubt Lin Mayu's chances. Additionally, there's a level 50 Summoner and an Elemental Mage on the opposing team. He asks Tao Tao if this 5th round is too overwhelming with such talented professionals. Lin Mayu realizes this party was specifically designed to counter him and understands he cannot hide his skills this time. As the match begins, the Holy Knight assumes a battle position, surprised to be facing just a level 27 opponent. The support mage buffs his team's stats as they prepare for the fight. Lin Mayu summons all his skeleton warriors and commands them to charge. The knight instructs her team to get ready and orders them to dismantle Lin Mayu's skeleton army. Lin Mayu summons his scythe early, taking no risks in this crucial round. Susheng watches in horror, wondering if Lin Mayu will summon that massive undead. The opposing mages raise their staffs and each uses a specific skill. The elven summoner begins summoning a spirit beast. The summoned beast uses its ability to reset all the mage's skills, allowing them to use the same skills again. Lin Mayu watches as numerous skill attacks are hurled towards him. He swings his scythe and commands the slumbering soul to emerge. From the shadows, the outpost guardian appears, massive and towering behind Lin Mayu. The crowd is bewildered, questioning if this summon is part of Lin Mayu's skeletons. The outpost guardian looks terrifying with its enormous wings extended behind it. One of the mages recognizes the undead as the boss from the hell difficulty level of the outpost dungeon. Lin Mayu also summons the undead general and instructs it to lead his skeletons into battle. The undead general follows Lin Mayu's orders, using its influence to direct the skeletons as they march forward. 3 skeletons get instantly destroyed as fireballs rain down upon them from the enemy mages. Lin Mayu acknowledges that the powerful skills of a level 50 mage are expected to easily annihilate his skeleton warriors. The outpost guardian extends its massive wings wide and wraps them around the skeleton warriors, forming a protective shield against the incoming fireballs. The mage looks on in surprise, realizing that Lin Mayu possesses the soul of a boss from a hell difficulty dungeon. The knight raises her shield and activates group defense, summoning protective shields around all her teammates. The outpost guardian leaps high into the air and raises its large spear, preparing to strike. With a mighty swing, the guardian brings its weapon down hard upon the shield conjured by the knight. The knight expresses concern as she sees that all their attacks have been blocked by the outpost guardian, but reassures her team not to lose hope. The shadow mage uses the skill Slumbering Cloud, summoning a powerful, swirling tornado-like cloud. Out of nowhere, raindrops start falling from the sky, and a heavy downpour drenches the skeleton warriors below. The undead general raises its staff and casts military prowess on the skeletons, which quickly removes the effects of the rain. The skeletons are instantly cleansed of any curses. The outpost guardian also benefits from the cleansing, with all curses and debuffs removed. The shadow mage is taken aback to see her Slumbering Cloud skill cleansed so easily and effectively. The outpost guardian hurls its spear with tremendous force towards the knight's shield. The spear pierces through the shield, causing it to begin shattering under the immense pressure. However, the summoner's summoned beast intervenes and resets the knight's skills, allowing her to immediately form another shield around her team. Alarmed by the summoner's beast ability, Lin Mayu decides that dealing with the beast should be his top priority. The elemental mage conjures a flame around his arm and commands his team to launch their attacks against Lin Mayu. As the mages unleash their powerful skills at Lin Mayu, he wonders if his skeleton armor can withstand the barrage of attacks. Observing that his armor is barely holding up under the assault, Lin Mayu decides to continuously cast the skeleton armor around himself to bolster his defenses. Suddenly Lin Mayu finds himself standing over a swamp, which he recognizes as the Shadow Mage's skill. Acting quickly, Lin Mayu retreats the skeleton warriors into the summoning space. He then summons the skeleton warriors back and climbs on their bodies, using them as a staircase to avoid touching the swamp below. The Shadow Mage is astonished by Lin Mayu's clever tactic to avoid being ensnared in the swamp trap. Following the undead general's command, the skeleton warriors begin hammering their swords relentlessly against the knight's shields. The knight's expression turns to one of terror as she sees her defenses nearing collapse and urgently asks the summoner to reset her skills. The summoner points out that it's too fast to reset the skills, as the summoned beast needs a period of rest before it can act again. With the defenses breached, the shields finally shatter under the repeated attacks. The knight's jaw drops in disbelief upon witnessing the skeleton warriors breaking through her defenses despite her best efforts. She instructs the mages to take immediate action as the skeleton warriors press forward, determined to push their advantage. The elemental mage creates a ring of flames around himself, aiming to prevent the skeletons from advancing any further. At the same time, the flame mage summons multiple fire walls around her position to impede the skeleton's progress. Some of the skeletons are caught in the intense fire and begin to burn, suffering significant damage. After a brief rest period, the summoned beast performs a skill reset, refreshing everyone's abilities. Seizing the opportunity, the knight quickly summons new shields around herself and her teammates to bolster their defenses once again. The knight resolves that if they can chip away at Lin Moyu's health slowly, they might eventually wear him down through persistent attacks. Lin Moyu's voice is suddenly heard nearby, asking if the knight really intends to grind him down. Startled by the unexpected voice, the knight turns around to see Lin Moyu standing close by, realizing he used her casting window to get near. Bewildered and alarmed, the knight asks Lin Moyu how he has the audacity to approach her so closely. Lin Moyu calmly raises his hand and casts the slow curse on everyone in the vicinity, using magical chains to restrict their movements. The skeletons charge forward aggressively, targeting the summoner's beast first. They quickly cut down the beast with relentless strikes. Lin Moyu then raises his hand once more and uses corpse explosion on the remains of the beast. Confident that the level 50 summoned beast has far more HP than his current opponents, Lin Moyu uses corpse explosion on it. The explosion is so massive that it blows apart the entire fighting arena. Shockwaves mixed with flames boom out in all directions. A man is horror-stricken, his jaw dropping at the sight of such a dangerous and powerful skill. Some people in the crowd are puzzled, wondering if something just exploded or what exactly happened. The arena is covered in dust billowing up from the ground, obscuring the view and making it hard to see what's going on. The knight emerges as the dust clears, her shield shattered. With a panic-stricken look, she glances around and notices that she's the only one left standing. The outpost guardian glares down at the knight, giving her a deadly look. Smiling, the knight acknowledges the competition's intensity, gives Lin Moyu a thumbs up, and calls him OP, confident that with him, Xinxia is secure. She jumps off the now rubble-filled, destroyed fighting arena, conceding defeat. Lin Moyu is declared the winner, and he, with her arm around a joyful Tao Tao, begins cheering excitedly, saying they won. The crowd breaks into deafening cheers, all of them very impressed with Lin Moyu's history-making feat. The mage materializes once again before Lin Moyu, hovering a few feet above him, holding the rewards. He smiles and praises Lin Moyu, handing over the rewards. Lin Moyu sincerely bows and thanks the elder mage, while wondering if there will be a sixth round. Bai sends Lin Moyu a congratulatory message as Lin Moyu decides to end the tournament now. A while later, as Lin Moyu is on his way out of the arena, someone calls out to him from behind. Lin Moyu turns around, sees the elder mage, and asks if something's the matter. The elder mage introduces himself to Lin Moyu as Jinpeng, one of the 12 council members in the Xinxia Empire. Lin Moyu once again asks Jinpeng if something is the matter. Jinpeng asks if Lin Moyu is the genius from Xiajing Academy who was also the top in the whole country last year, and Lin Moyu confirms it. Jinpeng mentions that he is one of the adjunct lecturers at Xiajing Academy and expresses a desire to take Lin Moyu as his student if he's willing. Startled by this offer, Tao Tao assumes that Jinpeng is actually trying to take Lin Moyu as his disciple. Lin Moyu bows to Jinpeng and sincerely thanks him for his kindness, but mentions that he already has a teacher. Jinpeng, slightly taken aback, asks Lin Moyu who his teacher is. As Lin Moyu receives a call and glances at it, he mentions it's a message from his teacher, prompting Jinpeng to tell him to pick up the call. Bai appears on the video call, addressing Jinpeng and asking if he's trying to poach students. Jinpeng, bewildered upon seeing Bai, quickly changes his tone and forces a smile, saying he didn't realize Bai was Lin Moyu's teacher. Jinpeng admits he wouldn't have offered to take Lin Moyu as a student had he known Bai was his teacher, and agrees to keep the secret. Bai then tells Jinpeng to gather his group and meet him once the competition is over, saying he and Meng have something to discuss with him. Jinpeng promises to go to Bai straight away with his team after the competition. Bai tells Lin Moyu he has done well and instructs him to return for a task, which Lin Moyu agrees to. Lin Moyu and the girls then head back to Xinxia Academy. Once Lin Moyu returns to his dormitory, he begins meditating to recover his spirit. Afterward, he drinks the potion he received from winning the 5th round. Instantly, his attributes all increase by 200. A while later, Lin Moyu goes to meet Bai and offers him tea, receiving praise from Bai for doing well. Meng notes that no one has ever reached the 5th round before, and Lin Moyu broke that record, adding that Lin Moyu is much stronger than Bai was in his day. Bai gives Lin Moyu a task to go to the dungeon hall and level up to 30, promising to give Lin Moyu something once he accomplishes this. Lin Moyu suggests the arena might be more efficient for leveling up and earning money, but Bai advises him to stay inside the academy for a few days to avoid potential targets outside. Bai warns that many prodigies have been assassinated in the empire recently, urging Lin Moyu to be careful, and Lin Moyu agrees. As Lin Moyu turns to leave, Meng asks Bai why he wants to send him to that place. Bai responds that Lin Moyu can't be considered a proper professional if he doesn't go there, and Meng questions if it won't be too dangerous. Bai points out that Lin Moyu is much stronger and won't die easily, and even if he does, he can be revived. Lin Moyu arrives outside the dungeon hall, returning after a long time. As Lin Moyu enters the dungeon hall, people look at him in awe, addressing him as a god Lin, and discussing his achievement of reaching the 5th round in the challenge. A guy excitedly recalls how he even had the chance to enter the dungeon with Lin Moyu, the legendary figure. Hearing the whispers and attention, Lin Moyu agrees with Bai that he's attracting more eyes now. Shuhan sees Lin Moyu and is surprised to see that he's back. She asks Lin Moyu which dungeon he wants to farm and if he'd like her recommendations for a good price. Lin Moyu sends Shuhan 100 points, and she gets excited, calling him generous. Lin Moyu chooses to clear the Fire God Palace dungeon. It's a level 32 dungeon with normal and nightmare difficulties. Lin Moyu notes that this dungeon looks very normal and wonders why the clear time record is 8 hours. Shuhan explains that this dungeon's clear time is extremely long because it's actually one of the top 5 elemental dungeons. She adds that, besides the 4 common elements, wind, water, fire, and electric, there's also the light element, with each dungeon dropping corresponding element fragments. Lin Moyu asks what happens after collecting all 5 elemental fragments, and Shuhan says she's not sure but suggests it might bring unimaginable benefits. Lin Moyu asks if the rest of the elemental dungeons are here too. Shuhan explains that the level 37 water elemental dungeon is only open to level 32s, the level 42 wind elemental dungeon is for level 37s, and the fire and light elemental dungeons are located elsewhere. Lin Moyu thanks Shuhan for the information, and she says he doesn't need to thank her. Lin Moyu then walks towards the Fire God Palace dungeon and chooses the nightmare difficulty. He gets teleported into the dungeon and sees that there's boiling lava and fire almost everywhere around him. He begins getting burned and realizes he will constantly receive elemental damage while inside this dungeon. So, he summons the skeleton armor around him as he moves forward. Now, Lin Moyu realizes this might be why the clear time was so long. For any teams that didn't bring at least 2 healers with them, they would face difficulties moving forward. A while later, Lin Moyu notices 2 large monsters blocking his path a few meters ahead. They are level 32 fire elves, enhanced elite monsters, and they begin charging toward Lin Moyu after spotting him. Lin Moyu notes that this might be similar to the elemental secret realm and that he can't use the corpse explosion on these monsters. A powerful blast of flame hurls toward Lin Moyu and strikes him but gets nullified by the skeleton armor, keeping him unhurt. Lin Moyu summons the skeleton warriors who run towards the fire elves. A fire elf gets hit by the skeleton warriors' swords. And with this single strike, the fire elf dies and begins disintegrating, leaving no corpse behind but providing Lin Moyu with EXP and a fire crystal core. Lin Moyu then instructs the skeleton warriors to spread out and opening. Walking in, he notes that the fire element is much more rampant there. As he enters the place within, he finds the area peculiar, with lava all over the floor. Lin Moyu then sends his skeleton warriors forward to inspect the flower-like thing in the center. Suddenly, lava comes hurling from both sides, destroying the two skeleton warriors on the spot. Lin Moyu walks toward the flower in the center and extends his hand to inspect it. Out of nowhere, a massive hand emerges, its fingers outstretched and ready to grab Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu swiftly leaps back, avoiding the massive hand as it attempts to grab him. And he quickly summons the skeleton mages to attack back. The mages raise their staffs and unleash various skills. The skills bombard the hand with intense force. Out of the lava, something gigantic begins rising, causing the lava to drip down. The level 36 Fire God Palace Gardener, the Hell difficulty boss, walks forwards. Lin Moyu notices that the flower he saw earlier is where the boss's heart should be. The boss extends his hands, causing fire and lava to rain down. For skeletons hit by the lava get destroyed instantly. An acid-like rain begins drizzling down as Lin Moyu summons more skeleton warriors. Lin Moyu then commands the skeleton warriors to go out and bring back some corpses. And he turns towards the boss, raising his hand to prepare the Soul Blaze skill. The Soul Blaze hurls toward the boss and strikes it squarely on the head. This angers the boss, causing its eyes to glow and the fire around its head to intensify. The boss then charges forward, straight toward Lin Moyu. Once close, the boss thrusts its fist forward, ready to punch Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu decides to restrict the boss's movements first, then shoots the slow chains at it. The slow chains bind the boss, rendering it immobile. At that moment, the skeleton warriors come running in, dragging the corpses of the guards with them. And they throw the corpses at the boss, who is still unable to move. As the corpses approach the boss, Lin Moyu raises his hand and uses corpse explosion on them. All the corpses explode on top of the boss, releasing a massive amount of heat energy. Impacted by the explosions, the boss is injured, with many wounds on its body. Another corpse gets thrown at the boss. That corpse explodes, now heavily maiming the boss. The skeletons seize the opportunity and all lunge at the boss, their swords raised to finish it off. The boss's body explodes, and it finally dies, providing Lin Moyu with a significant amount of EXP. Lin Moyu also obtains the Fire God Key and the Fire God Flower, each with their own uses. Lin Moyu steps forward to claim the rewards, raising his hand to grab them. Suddenly, the area begins shaking violently, and boulders and stones break off and fall from above. The lava spills out from the ground, but Lin Moyu's skeleton armor shields him from getting burned. Lin Moyu realizes that this hell difficulty is almost impossible to clear without bringing 4 or 5 supports, as even he is barely enduring the harsh fire element. A powerful streak of fire erupts from the ground, rising high above. Lin Moyu notices the giant flaming eye he saw outside the palace emerging from the fire. Large chunks of rock begin forming around the eye, and it takes the shape of a monster. Seconds later, the level 38 lava giant, the leader of this dungeon, stands before Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu is puzzled to see another boss and realizes that the Fire God Palace and Fire God Hall are different dungeons, with clearing the Fire God Palace being a prerequisite mission for the Fire God Hall. The lava giant shoots a powerful, concentrated laser of fire at the skeletons. Hit by the laser, around 5 skeleton warriors get destroyed. The laser even shatters Lin Moyu's skeleton armor. However, Lin Moyu quickly replenishes his skeleton armor and notes that his skeletons won't be able to fight the boss head-on. So he summons the scythe, deciding to end the fight quickly, and then he commands the Battlefield Ghost King to emerge. The level 39 Battlefield Ghost King's undead form heeds Lin Moyu's command and appears out. Lin Moyu thinks he should go all out since he wants to end this quickly. The Battlefield Ghost King stands at the front, facing the lava giant, ready for Lin Moyu's command. The lava giant shoots another laser attack from its giant eye. The laser flies straight towards the Battlefield Ghost King. The Battlefield Ghost King uses the Void Transformation skill, making its body intangible. So the laser attack passes straight through the Battlefield Ghost King and strikes the wall behind, blowing it apart. The Battlefield Ghost King then counterattacks, opening its mouth wide and letting out a scream to bewitch the target. The bewitch skill's waves hit the lava giant but leave no effect on it. The lava giant plunges its arm into the ground to use the volcanic eruption skill. Suddenly, torrents of flames erupt from the ground, spreading everywhere and releasing powerful, intense heat energy. The flames surround Lin Moyu, but his skeleton armor keeps him safe and secure. However, unable to avoid the flames, the 10 skeleton warriors and 16 skeleton mages get destroyed. Lin Moyu realizes he can't waste any more time and needs to finish this quickly. The skeleton mages raise their staffs, use their skills, and send ice bolts and lightning at the lava giant. The skills strike the lava giant's head, causing a small outburst. The Battlefield Ghost King raises its finger at the lava giant and shoots abyss energy at it. The abyss energy travels like a laser, piercing through the lava giant's left side and creating a gaping hole. The lava giant steps forward and slams its arm down on the ground, crushing 4 skeleton mages at once. Lin Moyu raises his hand to use the slow curse on the lava giant. Hit by the curse, the chains bind themselves around the lava giant, restricting its movements. Unable to move, the lava giant opens its mouth wide, ready to spit out lava. The powerful streak of lava travels straight at Lin Moyu and the skeletons. 7 skeleton warriors and 6 skeleton mages get trapped in the swirling lava and are destroyed. Yet again, Lin Moyu remains unharmed as his skeleton armor deflects the lava. The remaining skeleton warriors lunge forward and begin climbing onto the lava giant's body like small ants. The battlefield Ghost King uses the lifesteal skill on the lava giant, making it weak and vulnerable to attacks. The lava giant begins to fall forward but uses its arms to stop itself from plunging into the sea of lava. The battlefield Ghost King seizes the opportunity, points its finger at the lava giant, and shoots of the same abyss energy at it. Hit by the abyss energy, another gap forms on the right side of the lava giant's stomach, similar to before. The battlefield Ghost King aims a powerful punch and strikes the lava giant's chest, pushing it backward. The force of the punch pushes the lava giant into the lava, and it finally dies. Lin Moyu decides to leave without wasting a second. He teleports out of the dungeon, relieved to escape the intense heat and flames, and begins receiving EXP and other loot. He obtains 3 fire crystal fragments, which can be combined into 1 fire crystal, and he wonders what its purpose will be. The loud ringing of a bell fills the hall, startling the people, who realize it is related to the Fire God Palace dungeon. The record has been claimed by Lin Moyu in first place, but there is no record for second place. Realizing it's Lin Moyu, people exclaim that he made another record, while others wonder why the second place record isn't being shown. A proud-looking guy laughs and asks if they want to know why. He explains that it's because Lin Moyu cleared the Hell difficulty dungeon, so the clear time records made in Nightmare difficulty are not being shown. Hearing this, the people tell the guy to stop joking, pointing out that the dungeon doesn't even have a Hell difficulty, and accuse him of trying to fool others. But the guy insists he isn't lying, claiming he was there when the dungeon's difficulty changed, and tells them to check for themselves if they don't believe him. So the group of curious people heads over to the dungeon's entrance to examine the record Lin Moyu made. As they see the record is for Hell difficulty, their jaws drop in shock as they realize the dungeon really did upgrade. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu makes his way out of the dungeon hall and decides to visit Bai to ask about the use of the fragments he received. Sometime later, a group stands in front of the dungeon Lin Moyu just cleared, and a man beside Dean Xiao asks if they are really going to raid this dungeon. Dean Xiao affirms they will raid the dungeon and points out that if a single person could accomplish it, they with 12 people certainly can. Dean Xiao, looking pissed, reveals that he gathered his team to clear the dungeon after hearing its difficulty had upgraded, only to find that Lin Moyu had already done so. With gritted teeth, Dean Xiao vows to ruin Lin Moyu's reputation this time. Lin Moyu teleports beside the table where Bai and Meng are seated. Seeing Lin Moyu, Bai asks him if he was the one who caused the dungeon to upgrade. Lin Moyu confirms it was him and says he's there to ask Bai for some clarifications. Lin Moyu then summons the loot he received after defeating the boss and the leader in the previous dungeon. Meng recognizes the fire crystal fragments and asks Lin Moyu if he knows what happens after gathering the 5 elemental fragments. He explains that after combining all 5 different elemental fragments, one will obtain the elemental divine stone. Meng asks Lin Moyu if he has obtained the nirvana crystal and explains that the elemental divine stone is similar. It can increase the chances of a profession upgrade during the 3rd job evolution. Lin Moyu is shocked to hear that one can even upgrade their profession at the 3rd job evolution. Meng points out that high-level legendary professionals must undergo 2 job upgrades, with the 2nd being much harder, so using the elemental divine stone can increase the chances by about 30%. Lin Moyu says he understands and makes up his mind to obtain the elemental divine stone. Meng mentions that nobody knows where the real Fire God Hall is or how powerful the Fire God is, so Lin Moyu will have to explore and find out himself. Lin Moyu bows in appreciation, thanks Bai and Meng, and declares he will take his leave. Once Lin Moyu leaves, Meng reminds Bai that he's already visited the Lightning Palace before and asks why he didn't tell Lin Moyu. Bai says he visited that palace more than a decade ago during the Great War. Bai claims that he saw the Lightning Palace on the 8th battlefield, but it disappeared after the battle was over, and he plans to make Lin Moyu search for it once he gets stronger. As for the Holy Light Palace, Bai admits he has never seen it before, so Lin Moyu will have to depend on his luck to find it. The next day, Lin Moyu arrives at the dungeon hall. Since the crystal fragment is so important, Lin Moyu plans to farm more fire crystal fragments for Yi and his sister in the Fire God Palace dungeon. But before Lin Moyu can enter the dungeon, someone begins teleporting out of it. Dean Xiao and his team emerge from the dungeon, all of them on fire. Dean Xiao, with his face burnt, is displeased after failing to clear the dungeon despite being fully prepared. Lin Moyu tells Dean Xiao to move aside so he can enter the dungeon. This angers Dean Xiao, and he turns around, shouting not to bother him and to try different dungeons. Dean Xiao's eyes fall on Lin Moyu and he becomes speechless. Lin Moyu tells the shocked Dean Xiao to move aside and walks forward. Using the cooldown talisman, Lin Moyu resets the dungeon cooldown and then chooses Hell difficulty. Dean Xiao is bewildered to see Lin Moyu choose Hell difficulty, and he clenches his fist, deciding to stay and see if Lin Moyu can really clear this dungeon alone. Lin Moyu gets teleported inside the dungeon. He instantly deploys the skeleton armor around himself and decides to let the skeleton warriors gather the monsters in one place to save time. Within a short time, Lin Moyu manages to reach the boss's palace. He then summons the skeletons and commands them to attack the monsters and keep their corpses clean without burning them. The skeleton warriors begin their rampage, slaughtering the monsters. Lin Moyu notes that with this many corpses, fighting the lava giant will be a lot easier and save him time. And he walks into the lava-surrounded area where final boss will appear. The lava giant emerges before Lin Moyu. Like before, Lin Moyu raises his scythe and summons the battlefield Ghost King. And he uses the slow curse skill to restrict the lava giant's movements. Hit by the curse, the lava giant is bound by chains and unable to move. The skeleton warriors arrive, carrying the corpses, and Lin Moyu instructs them to throw the corpses at the lava giant. With the corpse explosion skill, all the corpses begin exploding, releasing powerful shockwaves directly on the lava giant's head. The battlefield Ghost King prepares to attack and points its finger at the lava giant. The abyss energy attack pierces through the lava giant's stomach, leaving a large hole in its right side. The skeleton warriors all lunge at the lava giant, their swords held high to finish it off. With multiple attacks, the lava giant finally gets defeated. Outside the dungeon hall, Dean Xiao is waiting for Lin Moyu to exit the dungeon when the bell suddenly begins ringing again. A guy informs Dean Xiao that Lin Moyu has set a new record. Shocked, Dean Xiao asks how it's possible, pointing out that Lin Moyu had just entered the dungeon, while the guy shrugs. Dean Xiao sees the crowd gathered at the dungeon entrance, all discussing how amazing and powerful Lin Moyu is, comparing him to a god. The new record for the Fire God Palace Hell difficulty dungeon is now 1 hour and 12 minutes, set by Lin Moyu. Dean Xiao is bewildered to learn that Lin Moyu really cleared the dungeon in just an hour, multiple times faster than the nightmare record. And he admits that Lin Moyu's true power is beyond his comprehension. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu is already about to re-enter the dungeon just after exiting it. Dean Xiao is speechless seeing this, while others praise Lin Moyu for working so hard and deciding to re-enter the dungeon right after clearing it. Dean Xiao drops his head, feeling hopeless, while the crowd begins chanting Lin Moyu's name. Unable to take it, Dean Xiao swiftly turns around. Still looking gloomy and depressed, Dean Xiao tells his friends they should go back and look for a different dungeon. Dean Xiao leaves the dungeon hall as Lin Moyu enters the dungeon. Sometime later, Lin Moyu exits the dungeon, having finally leveled up to 28. Once outside, he notices something and, puzzled, turns sideways. A group of people seems very excited, all looking at something. A party from Genesis College has arrived at the dungeon hall. The party members are all wearing impressive equipment like the Goblin King Ring, Flame Bug Necklace, and Wind Spirit Earrings, which are all boss accessories. The party walks towards a dungeon and chooses the Hell difficulty of the Fire God Palace. Shuhan comes walking toward Lin Moyu, calling out his name. At that moment, the people exclaim that the Blazing Emperor College party is also there, prompting Lin Moyu and Shuhan to turn around. The party from Blazing Emperor College is donning dark uniforms and masks covering their mouths. Shuhan points out that the Blazing Emperor College and Genesis College might be there to face each other. She explains that the Xiajing Academy has 3 top colleges, with Chuangshan College at the top and Genesis and Blazing Emperor colleges competing for the second spot. Shuhan says that these colleges probably heard about the dungeon upgrading and might be wanting to set a record, but she is certain they won't beat Lin Moyu's record. Lin Moyu takes in this information and says he understands. The Blazing Emperor College's party also chooses Hell difficulty and prepares to enter the dungeon. Back at their usual table, Bai, Meng, and Ning witness the competition happening between the 2 colleges. Ning says that Genesis College and Blazing Emperor College came as expected and thinks the Blazing Emperor College might take the lead this time. The Blazing Emperor College, led by the Holy Fire Knight with high fire resistance and excellent equipment, is expected to have an easier time inside the dungeon, according to Ning. Bai notes that those colleges can't beat Chuangshan College, so they'll compete for second place, with Lin Moyu's record already set. Alarmed, Ning points out that Lin Moyu is about to enter the dungeon again. The 3 look at the screen and see Lin Moyu teleporting inside the dungeon again, attempting to speed clear it this time. Bai smiles and says this is a good way to teach those colleges a lesson and make them realize that someone will always be better than them. Ning asks Bai if he is going to let Lin Moyu join Genesis College instead of the old thing's Chuangshan College. Bai mentions that the old man already has a genius student who will get all the precious resources, so Lin Moyu should join Genesis College to enjoy the resources alone. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu teleports inside the dungeon, notes that his destroyed skeletons have been replenished after leveling up, and prepares to speedrun the dungeon. He summons the skeletons and commands them to move forward. The army of skeletons charges forward with instructions from Lin Moyu to not harm the corpses. The skeletons begin slaughtering every monster in their way with ease. Within minutes, Lin Moyu reaches the dungeon leader's palace. He sprints forward and charges ahead with his skeletons behind him. The lava giant appears before Lin Moyu, who looks up at it and says he's brought some gifts. The skeleton warriors begin throwing all the monster corpses straight at the lava giant. Lin Moyu uses corpse explosion, causing all the corpses to explode, releasing massive force of fire and energy. At this moment, outside the dungeon in the hall, the bell rings again, and people curiously peer at the leaderboard to see who set the record this time. The people, with bewildered expressions, look at the new record set by Lin Moyu in the Fire God Palace, just 38 minutes. Unable to believe it, the people ask if this is really hell difficulty, as even the normal difficulty doesn't have a record time this short. Lin Moyu teleports out of the dungeon and decides to clear it a few more times to reach level 30. Bai, Meng, and Ning are all shocked as Bai points out that Lin Moyu is really not giving any chances to others. Meng admits that Lin Moyu's new record cannot be beaten by anyone but thinks it's fine, as it will teach those two colleges a lesson and keep them restrained. A few hours later, the Blazing Emperor College team and the Genesis College team exit the dungeon at the same time. The Blazing Emperor College team leader notices that the Genesis College team has exited together with them. The leader points a finger at the Genesis College team, claiming they came out at the same time despite entering the dungeon 2 minutes earlier. The Genesis College team leader claims they were delayed because they were getting ready at the safe area and suggests checking the leaderboard to see who won. So both the college team leaders walk forward to see who cleared the dungeon first. The gathered crowd begins giggling, knowing that Lin Moyu has already set an unbeatable record. The people hope that seeing Lin Moyu's record will keep those two colleges quiet. Both leaders bend a little to see the leaderboard clearly. Seeing Lin Moyu's record, both are shocked beyond belief. The Blazing Emperor College team leader, with his eyes bulging in shock, asks how Lin Moyu, a level 28 kid, could solo clear the dungeon in just 36 minutes. Disappointed, the Blazing Emperor College team leader turns around and says they will leave now. The people there begin laughing and mocking both college teams, calling them arrogant as they exit the dungeon hall. Bai asks Meng how it went, while Meng is examining a smaller projection of a tower above his hand. Meng says he's already locked onto the coordinates of the Eternal Training Ground, and Bai praises Meng for finding it so quickly. Meng asks Bai if he really plans to send Lin Moyu there, reminding Bai that he only went there after evolving his profession twice. Bai notes that Lin Moyu is already stronger than most level 40 professionals, highlighting how he defeated a twice-evolved team in the competition, so there's no reason he can't go. Meng says he won't interfere since Lin Moyu is Bai's disciple, and since Lin Moyu won't die for real, he thinks a reality check might be beneficial. Bai assures Meng that Lin Moyu will never die. Lin Moyu exits the dungeon after clearing it. After a lot of grinding, Lin Moyu has finally reached level 30. Shuhan asks Lin Moyu if he's leveled up, and Lin Moyu thanks Shuhan for recommending this particular dungeon. Shuhan congratulates Lin Moyu and praises his work, prompting Lin Moyu to ask if she has something else to tell him. Looking hopeful, Shuhan requests if Lin Moyu could sell her one of the fire crystal fragments. Lin Moyu thinks for a second, then throws the crystal into Shuhan's hand, telling her it's free of charge. Lin Moyu then leaves, bidding Shuhan goodbye while she remains speechless at receiving the crystal for free, wondering if Lin Moyu even knows its value. Bai confirms whether Lin Moyu really reached level 30, and Lin Moyu affirms he did. Meng is surprised that Lin Moyu leveled from 27 to 30 in less than 2 days and says Lin Moyu is being harsh on himself, but Bai mentions it's good to be harsh and ruthless. Bai then asks Lin Moyu how it feels to be level 30. Lin Moyu says he can feel some changes in himself, though he hasn't analyzed them thoroughly yet. Bai summons a bunch of scrolls and tells Lin Moyu he can awaken new skills since he's level 30. Lin Moyu tells Bai he doesn't need his scrolls and summons his own. Lin Moyu clutches one scroll in his hand and begins opening it. He gives a surprised look as he sees his new skill, Skeleton Fangs, which can release skeleton fangs to attack enemies. Lin Moyu decides to test the skill, and upon casting it, massive pointed fangs emerge from the ground, forming a cage-like structure around him, similar to the skeleton armor. Bai points a bit farther and tells Lin Moyu to use the skill over there. Lin Moyu raises his hand and shoots pointed sharp bones that fly forward, destroying the boulders in their path. Bai repairs the boulders and says this skill is good, nearly on par with the fireball spell of a level 30 mage. Meng notes that Lin Moyu's talent has greatly enhanced his new skill and believes it will be very powerful when maxed, advising him to awaken 2 more skills. Lin Moyu follows Meng's suggestion and reaches for another scroll. And then he begins opening the second scroll for another skill. But no new skill awakens, and Lin Moyu is puzzled as to why not. Bai asks Lin Moyu what's wrong. Suddenly, Lin Moyu's scythe appears on its own, and he wonders if this is related to the second skill he might have just received. Lin Moyu acquires the Summon Undead General skill, which he already had, but wonders if it has changed in any way. Suddenly, powerful winds begin blowing, causing the trees to sway and leaves to scatter violently. Alarmed, Bai and Meng look around, and Meng notes that Lin Moyu's skill can affect heavenly phenomena like a forbidden curse. Lin Moyu summons the Undead General, capable of commanding skeleton mages and warriors to form a legion. The Undead General is level 1, can contain up to 10 legion members, and can strengthen, heal, and remove status effects from them. Lin Moyu realizes the Undead General is now his summon, able to remove abnormal effects and strengthen and heal the skeletons. Bai suggests Lin Moyu summon a skeleton to observe the Undead General's effects on it. Following Bai's suggestion, Lin Moyu raises his hand and summons a single skeleton warrior. Bai unleashes a laser-like attack at the skeleton, which pierces through and exits from its back. The Undead General raises its staff and begins undoing the damage inflicted on the skeleton. The Legion Heal skill from the Undead General heals the skeleton instantly. Bai notes the Undead General's low attributes, but says its skills resemble the Legion Overlord, praising Lin Moyu for awakening a remarkable ability. Lin Moyu gratefully thanks Bai for his compliments. Bai notes that since Lin Moyu already possesses this powerful summon, it won't be long before he becomes a one-man army. Bai says he's no longer worried for Lin Moyu with the new skills and instructs him to prepare for training, while Lin Moyu responds that he'll first head to the Tyrant Desert to level them up. Bai pats Lin Moyu's shoulder, saying he'll ask Meng for a discount on resetting the Tyrant Desert points, and Lin Moyu happily thanks him. Lin Moyu returns to the dungeon hall with a plan to use the desert fruits to max out his 2 brand new skills. Teleporting into the Tyrant Desert dungeon, Lin Moyu looks around and announces his return. A while later he reaches the oasis and encounters the giant scorpions. Deciding to test his new skill, Lin Moyu raises his hand and launches the skeleton fangs towards the scorpions. The skeleton fangs pierce through the scorpions like sharp arrows, easily destroying them. After defeating the horde of scorpions, Lin Moyu heads toward the trees where the fruits are located. A few minutes later, Lin Moyu exits the dungeon, and Shuhan calls out to him right outside the entrance. Shuhan mentions that she has been waiting for Lin Moyu for a long time, prompting him to ask why. Shuhan hands over a few bottles of fatigue potions to Lin Moyu, explaining that they can temporarily remove fatigue and keep him in top condition. Lin Moyu decides to use these potions while leveling up his skills over the next few days. Shuhan then turns around, saying she won't disturb Lin Moyu any longer, and Lin Moyu thanks her for her help. Lin Moyu re-enters the dungeon, defeats the scorpions, consumes the fruits to replenish his spirit, and continues the cycle of killing scorpions for a long time. After hours of grinding, Lin Moyu is still at the oasis, holding the fruits in his hand, with the Undead General and Skeleton Mages summoned behind him. As he takes a bite of the fruit, he notes this will be the last time. The Undead General has advanced to gold grade, expanding its Legion capacity from 10 to 300, with Legion Strengthening, Legion Heal, and Military Power all at level 3. Lin Moyu declares that his Undead General has successfully reached max level. The Skeleton Warriors have also advanced to gold grade with enhanced attributes. Similarly, the Skeleton Mages are now at gold grade too. Lin Moyu notes that since all his summons have reached gold grade, he feels stronger than ever since becoming a professional. His summon inventory now has a maximum capacity of 300, and all his active skills are at level 30, except for Corpse Explosion, which remains at level 4. Feeling more powerful and ready, Lin Moyu decides to seek out Master Bai. The Thanatos scythe has also reached level 30 with improved stats. A while later, Lin Moyu arrives at the table where Bai is seated. Meng claims he can sense that Lin Moyu's aura has grown stronger, indicating that Lin Moyu must have been working very hard. Lin Moyu bows before Bai and declares that he's ready. Bai tells Lin Moyu that he wants him to go to a place called the Eternal Trials, where many opportunities and dangers await. The Eternal Trials consist of 3 layers, the upper, lower, and deep layers, with each layer connected yet independent. Bai will send Lin Moyu to the upper layer, where professionals below level 70 are permitted, while professionals above level 70 can access the lower layer. In rare cases, a space tunnel may appear between the upper and lower layers, allowing professionals from the upper layer to enter the lower layer for just an hour. According to legends, in ancient times, a great war erupted between humans, the abyss, and dragons, during which the eternal battlefield was formed. Countless divine items and souls were lost in the eternal battlefield during the war, and the lingering wills of these souls eventually formed various monsters, secret realms, and dungeons. While it's dangerous, the eternal trials are full of great opportunities, with many divine artifacts left behind by the ancient humans. Bai notes that the eternal trials also feature abyss demons and dragon warriors, adding to the dangers beyond just ancient threats. With this thorough explanation, Bai asks Lin Moyu if he fully understands the dangers ahead. With a focused expression, Lin Moyu responds that he understands. After explaining everything, Bai reveals that the key reason he wants Lin Moyu in the eternal trials is to access a secret realm in the upper layer where he can gain a trace of divinity. The trace of divinity boosts the chance of advancing a profession during evolution, and combined with the Nirvana crystal, it will raise Lin Moyu's chances to 99%. Furthermore, if Lin Moyu can clear the randomly appearing demonic dragon hull on hell difficulty, he might receive a dragon crystal that can instantly awaken a talent, even in a twice-evolved individual. Bai tells Lin Moyu that he can try to awaken a talent if he obtains the dragon crystal, otherwise, they can use the mermaid's tear. Bai then says he has shared everything and asks Lin Moyu if he really wants to go to the eternal trials. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu agrees to go there. Bai summons a few high-grade equipment pieces like a cooldown talisman, dungeon escape talisman, and others. He reminds Lin Moyu that the cooldown talisman is loaned to him and must be returned, and explains that the puppet talisman can block any damage, while other equipment can be used to escape. Lin Moyu thanks Bai for his generosity. Meng thinks Bai might be worried about sending Lin Moyu to the eternal trials, given how much he has informed him. Meng then tells Lin Moyu to get ready to teleport to the eternal trials. In an instant, Lin Moyu is transported to a forest surrounded by trees and bushes. The forest is shrouded in darkness and eerie silence as Lin Moyu cautiously begins to survey his surroundings. He wonders if this is the eternal trials, noting the pervasive stench of blood and spirit in the air. Deciding to play it safe, Lin Moyu summons his skeleton armor. He then begins moving forward, with two skeleton warriors trotting behind him. After walking for a while, Lin Moyu finally encounters a living creature. It's a level 41 black rock monster with high attributes. Lin Moyu is surprised to encounter a regular monster at such a high level which, with its high spirit and strength, can inflict both physical and elemental damage. The monster notices Lin Moyu and instantly lunges at him, raising its fist to strike. The monster directs its punch towards Lin Moyu, causing the air to rotate with force. A small tornado forms from the monster's punch and whirls toward Lin Moyu. The force of the air sent by the mini tornado pushes the skeleton warriors backward. Lin Moyu raises his hand, summons more skeletons, and commands them to charge at the monster. The skeleton warriors raise their swords, enhancing them with the Rage Strike skill, and strike the monster, but it takes little damage due to its physical damage reduction. So Lin Moyu raises his hand and, pointing at the monster, uses his new skill Skeleton Fangs to shoot sharp, pointy bones at it. The large sharp bones fly towards the monster and pierce its body in multiple places. The skeleton warriors begin slicing the monster, and finally, it gets blasted into pieces, providing Lin Moyu with 1,000,000 EXP. Lin Moyu thinks that other monsters in the Eternal Trials should all be around level 40 and above. Suddenly, a demon's voice calls out to Lin Moyu from behind, and he quickly turns his head to see who it is. A massive spider-like abyss knife demon, at level 42, flies towards Lin Moyu, mocking how a level 30 small fry dares to enter the Eternal Trials. The knife demon says it never expected to find any humans there, and licking its lips, says it can finally feast now. Lin Moyu remarks that he got unlucky by running into trash like this demon just after arriving at the Eternal Trials. The demon swings its claws in the air, sending air blades toward Lin Moyu, asking if he's scared out of his wits. Lin Moyu quickly responds by sending the slow chains at the demon, which bind themselves around it, catching it off guard. Lin Moyu raises his hand toward the immobilized demon and, using Corpse Explosion, bids it farewell. Instantly, the demon's body blows up into pieces, killing it and providing Lin Moyu with EXP and merit. Lin Moyu looks pleased with the rewards and comments that Bai indeed sent him to a good place. For a few hours, Lin Moyu keeps wandering around the forest, hoping to find something to defeat. He then discovers what he believes to be a space tunnel. Something begins emerging from the tunnel, and Lin Moyu recognizes it's a member of the dragon race. A large number of dragon professionals begin emerging from the space tunnel. Lin Moyu notes that they are an otherworldly race and recalls that Meng told him they are enemies of humans. The dragons notice Lin Moyu, recognize him as human, and snarl at him. One of them detects the scent of dragons on Lin Moyu, accuses him of killing their kind, and orders the others to attack. A level 44 Dragon Knight charges directly at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu realizes these knights have high skills and attributes, making them stronger than humans. The knights fly towards Lin Moyu, swords raised high, and shout for him to stop struggling and die. Lin Moyu quickly raises his hand, casts the slow curse, and shoots chains at them. All the dragon knights get instantly bound by the slow chains, immobilizing them. One of them smirks, revealing that dragons are born with curse resistance. The chains binding the dragon knights begin to shatter, freeing them from the movement restrictions. The dragon knight looks triumphant. Lin Moyu uses skeleton fangs, causing massive pointed sharp bones to emerge from the ground around him like a cage. And then he also shoots sharp bones toward the dragon knights. A dragon knight boasts that their hard scales make them immune to such attacks from a level 30 Lin Moyu. But once the bones strike the dragons, they pierce through and exit the other side of their bodies. The dragon knight, who claimed to have hard scales, is bewildered by Lin Moyu's powerful skill despite his low level. The dragon knight at the front uses the group defense as more pointed bones hurl toward them. A powerful barrier forms around all the dragons as the dragon knight commands the others to rush and kill Lin Moyu. However, the shield gets slightly damaged when the bones strike it. The dragon knight, looking a bit frightened, shouts for the dragon mages to act. The dragon mages raise their staffs and shoot poisonous gas at Lin Moyu. However, Lin Moyu remains unaffected as his skeleton armor blocks the damage. Lin Moyu then summons the skeleton warriors to counterattack. He also withdraws his scythe and calls out the undead general. The undead general appears behind Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu commands the undead general to lead the skeletons and destroy the enemies. The undead general uses legion strengthening, boosting the skeletons' strength as they march forward. At that moment, the barrier protecting the dragons shatters, causing the dragon knight to curse in rage. The dragon knight looks terrified as he sees the army of skeletons charging toward them. The other dragon mages look scared, but the dragon knight, trying to appear brave, orders them to charge forward with him. The dragon knight attempts to attack the skeletons with a powerful slam, but before he can move, Lin Moyu's soul blaze attack hits his face. Engulfed in pain, the dragon knight begins falling toward the ground, screaming in agony. The skeleton warriors charge at the remaining dragons. With the dragon knight dead, the rest of the dragons turn to flee. But the skeleton mages shoot their skills at the fleeing dragons, cutting off their escape. Hit by the skills, the dragons begin dropping from the air like flies. The undead general instructs the skeletons to finish off the dragons. Lin Moyu is surprised to receive both a significant amount of EXP and merits. With the merits earned, Lin Moyu's rank increases to 4-star second lieutenant. He looks down at a dragon corpse, wondering if it's a demon or a monster. Lin Moyu continues moving forward, thinking it will be easier to farm levels and merits in this place. Far away, in a palace, a booming voice shakes the walls, demanding to know who was responsible. The Dragon King asks who killed his team and vows to skin the culprit alive. After a few minutes of walking, Lin Moyu feels exhausted and wishes humans could fly like demons and dragons. Suddenly he gets alarmed, sensing something, and turns sideways. He sees a group of abyss demons and dragon professionals, both running and flying, heading toward him. The abyss demons and dragons appear to be fleeing from something and happen to encounter Lin Moyu along the way. Seeing Lin Moyu, the abyss demon expresses a desire to eat him, while the dragon bellows that Lin Moyu killed its friends. Lin Moyu finds it strange to see the demons and dragons so friendly with each other. An army of small flying creatures arrives, seemingly chasing the abyss demons and dragons. The small creatures are level 40 soul-devouring insects. Lin Moyu realizes the insects are resistant to defense, physically immune, and have universal shred, which explains why the abyss demons and dragons are fleeing together. The soul-devouring insects fly forward, surrounding the demons and dragons in a circle. The only exit is where Lin Moyu is standing, blocking the path of the demons and dragons. Lin Moyu knows other races can't be trusted and doesn't want to let any of them escape. The soul-devouring insects begin feasting on the souls of the dragons and demons, sucking their souls like air. Some of them begin to desperately run toward Lin Moyu, trying to escape. But Lin Moyu's soul blaze attack hits a dragon and a demon, causing them to stop, screaming in agony. The others also stop, seeing their friends suddenly attacked. They realize Lin Moyu was the attacker, curse him, and vow to shred him to pieces once they escape. The soul-devouring insects start surrounding the remaining demons and dragons again. Lin Moyu raises his hand and shoots the slow curse at those trying to escape. The slow chains fly toward the demons, binding them and making them unable to move. However, the dragons, immune to such attacks, break the chains and shouts at Lin Moyu to get out of the way. The dragon looks terrified as it sees Lin Moyu summon the skeleton warriors, shocked by such powerful summons. But trying to act tough, the dragon begins charging forward. A skeleton warrior strikes the dragon, sending him flying backward. The dragon tells Lin Moyu to understand the situation and let them escape, warning that the soul-devouring insects will kill everyone there. The soul-devouring insects move forward, causing the demons to panic and groan at Lin Moyu for not allowing them to escape. Lin Moyu summons the scythe and orders the undead general to come out. The undead general forms a legion, raises its staff, and strengthens the skeletons in the legion. As the soul-devouring insects close in on the demons and dragons, the demons call Lin Moyu a fool for thinking his skeletons can stand any chance against the insects. Lin Moyu, looking irritated, calls the demons noisy, and he sends his skeleton warriors forward to fight. The demons begin laughing, pointing out that while Lin Moyu obstructed their path, he will now die with them. The soul-devouring insects are now very close to Lin Moyu, all flying towards him. But the insects can't get close to Lin Moyu due to the shield barrier of his skeleton armor. Lin Moyu raises his hand, kills an insect with Soul Blaze, and notices the EXP is low but thinks it's okay since there are hundreds of them. The insects begin attacking the skeletons, trying to bite through their armor. The undead general raises its staff and heals all the injured skeletons. Lin Moyu uses the skeleton Fang skill, shooting many sharp bones at the insects. Many of the insects get pierced by the bones and die, providing Lin Moyu a burst of EXP. The demons and dragons are shocked to see Lin Moyu kill the insects so easily despite being just level 30. Lin Moyu uses corpse explosion on the dead insects, causing massive explosions that kill many more insects as well as the demons and dragon. Lin Moyu gets promoted to 5-star second lieutenant with all the merits he obtains. More demon corpses explode, releasing a tremendous wave of fire and energy, and Lin Moyu looks pleased with the EXP he received. The explosion is so massive that it shakes the whole place. From the forest, a larger and bigger soul-devouring insect comes flying towards the battle. It's the level 50 soul-devouring insect king. As the soul-devouring insect king flies in, Lin Moyu notices it's a lord-level boss with high attributes and decides to take the fight seriously. He also sees many corpses of soul-devouring insects on the ground and decides to use them to kill the insect king. The insect king uses the terrifying scream skill, sending powerful sound waves at Lin Moyu and his skeletons. The high-frequency sound waves pass through the skeletons, causing them some damage. The undead general uses the healing skill to reverse the damage done to the skeletons. The sound waves hit Lin Moyu as well, and he acknowledges the insect king's strength. The insect king opens its mouth wide and begins sucking in the air, pulling along the soul-devouring insects and even breaking the ground into chunks that fly toward its mouth. Nearby, a group of people hear the insect king's sounds and decide to run away. The dragons note that the insect king can consume anything, recall how over 100 dragon professionals couldn't defeat it, and begin flying away in fear. With everyone gone, the insect king turns its attention to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu becomes concerned as all the insect corpses have been devoured by the insect king, and he's unsure if skeleton fangs can pierce the insect king's defenses. The insect king lunges at Lin Moyu with blinding speed, shattering his skeleton armor. Lin Moyu realizes he must constantly replenish his armor. After a while, Lin Moyu manages to push the insect king down, slamming it onto the ground. Lin Moyu then uses corpse explosion on the remaining corpses to try and blow up the insect king, but the insect king remains unharmed due to the few corpses left. The insect king opens its mouth wide and uses the Soul Devour skill to try and consume Lin Moyu's soul. The skill hits Lin Moyu and for a moment, his soul gets pulled out of his body. Lin Moyu quickly summons the skeleton armor around him, causing his soul to re-enter his body. Seeing the insect king's powerful attacks, Lin Moyu decides to focus on constantly replenishing his skeleton armor. The Soul Devour skill proves useless against the skeleton warriors since they have no souls. The insect king attempts another soul attack on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu raises his hand, saying he can also use soul attacks, and prepares the Soul Blaze skill. The Soul Blaze hits the insect king, engulfing it in white flames. Taking this chance, the undead general commands the skeleton mages to use their skills. Multiple skills from the skeleton mages fly toward the insect king, who begins creating a swirling web-like structure in response. A second later, a massive cocoon-like structure forms around the insect king, engulfing it completely. A while later, the cocoon begins glowing and rays of light emerge, rising upwards. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts with a blinding flash of light, violently pushing the skeleton warriors back. Lin Moyu watches in shock as the insect king emerges in its second form, its attributes massively increased, radiating an aura of overwhelming power. The insect king violently swipes its hand at the skeletons, seizing one of them between its enormous fingers. It then brings its hand closer to its mouth, opening its jaws wide, ready to devour the skeleton warrior. The skeleton warrior gets crushed between the insect king's massive, sharp teeth. The insect king grabs two more skeleton warriors and crushes them with its powerful jaws. Lin Moyu realizes the insect king is devouring his skeletons to regenerate and wonders if it can consume them faster than he can summon them, so he summons a potion to replenish his spirit. The Insect King raises its hand to grab and devour more skeleton warriors. But before it can do so, Lin Moyu's soul blaze hits the Insect King from behind. The battlefield Ghost King looms behind Lin Moyu, pointing its finger at the Insect King, ready to unleash Abyss Energy. Abyss Energy blast sent by the battlefield Ghost King shoots toward the Insect King. As the energy blast hits the Insect King, it lets out a loud, screeching roar. The roar travels far and wide through the forest. The fleeing dragons hear the loud roar, realize Lin Moyu is still battling the boss, and hasten their escape. An army of soul-devouring insects responds to the boss's call and arrives at the battlefield. Lin Moyu looks pleased to see so many insects as he can now use the corpse explosion. And he uses the skeleton fang skill, raising his hand toward the incoming horde of soul-devouring insects. A large number of pointed, sharp bones shoot toward the insects like arrows, piercing many of them. The corpses of the insects begin to drop, and Lin Moyu raises his hand, using corpse explosion on them. The corpses begin exploding all around the Insect King. The powerful shockwaves from the explosion catch the Insect King by surprise, leaving it unable to react in time. More explosions bombard the Insect King, engulfing it in flames. Lin Moyu commands the undead general to advance its legions, not giving the Insect King any space to breathe. Following the undead general's orders, the skeleton mages raise their staffs and shoot various skills at the Insect King. The skeleton warriors also lunge upward, striking the Insect King with their swords. The Insect King raises its arm, causing the ground to be blasted apart. A massive deep opening, like a small chasm, forms on the ground, making the skeletons to fall into it. Meanwhile, a group of professionals nearby hear the shrieks of the Insect King and begins wondering if someone might be battling it right now. Lin Moyu, along with many skeletons, gets thrown down the chasm. Lin Moyu lands on his feet, and so does the Insect King, a short distance away from him. The Insect King lowers its hand toward a group of skeletons, grabs them, and pulls them up to its mouth, preparing to devour them. The Insect King devours 5 skeletons at once, absorbing some spirit from them, and extends its wings as it turns toward the massive cave-like opening. Lin Moyu realizes the Insect King is trying to escape and knows that if it gets away, he won't be able to catch it. So, he uses the slow curse and binds the Insect King in chains, preventing its escape. The Insect King growls, struggling to free itself from the chains binding it. Lin Moyu looks over at the now immobile Insect King, with the battlefield Ghost King standing behind him. With a smirk, Lin Moyu tells the Insect King not to think about running, expressing his interest in its soul. The skeletons leap toward the immobile Insect King and begin striking it with their swords. Lin Moyu raises his hand at the Insect King and unleashes the soul blaze on it. Hit by Lin Moyu's skill and the battlefield Ghost King's abyss energy, the Insect King gets lifted off its feet. The Insect King then dies and falls to the ground, providing Lin Moyu with 5 million EXP and 3 rare items, each with its own uses and attributes. Lin Moyu notes that he has enough spirit to summon only one undead general and is pleased to receive the soul-devouring ring and soul crystal, both of which help replenish his spirit. Lin Moyu looks over at the Insect King's dead corpse and thanks it, and then he raises his scythe at the Insect King's corpse and, using the evocation skill, revives its soul and commands it to be his servant. The Insect King's soul emerges from its body at Lin Moyu's command. However, the soul is unable to enter the scythe, and the skill fails. Lin Moyu, puzzled, wonders if it's because the Insect King's level is too high. Nevertheless, Lin Moyu decides to try the skill again and swings his scythe. The Insect King's soul flies toward the scythe and attempts to enter it. But once again, the process fails, and Lin Moyu realizes his current spirit is too low to summon the insect.